What do you think about the idea that, well, if you have cancer, you should flat out restrict carbohydrates or sugar to selectively starve those cancer cells?
Unfortunately, we cannot selectively starve cancer cells. And this is one of these things I call a half-truth, that yes, there is a high reliance of glucose in cancer cells. They are using anaerobic glycolysis or aerobic glycolysis, generating energy very quickly, and also need to generate things for their DNA, RNA synthesis. So they do have high demand for glucose. But there are also other cells in the body that have a pretty high demand for glucose, including the brain and also those red blood cells that are transporting oxygen everywhere in the body. And unfortunately, by restricting carbohydrates from the diet, the liver is going to have to make that glucose. Why are we putting more work on the liver? It's the most hardworking organ in the body to make it then start making glucose so that the other cells in the body can get that glucose if you're not getting it in from the diet. And then to add even more complexity to this, we also know that many cancer cells have a high reliance for the amino acid glutamine. And there's been studies where they've tried to inhibit this pathway of glutamine metabolism. And the cancer cells just can use a different pathway and actually become more reliant on glucose to feed through that TCA cycle. So just showing that when you try to do like one thing and manipulating the fuel source for cancer, it's like, okay, then we'll just go this way to try to get energy, and that there can be resistance to that. And then my other big concern when people are trying to restrict carbohydrates for fear of glucose is we talked about all the benefits of carbohydrate-containing foods, the phytochemicals in fruits and vegetables, the fiber that supports the microbiome that may have a role in your immune system being able to also be a part of this cancer fight. So by restricting carbohydrates, you're also limiting fiber, nutrients, phytochemicals, and you're not setting your body up in the best way possible. I do get a lot, well, there's some ketogenic diet research. The clinical trials are so small and have not really shown any consistent benefit. So I don't think that the clinical research out there in relation to the ketogenic diet and broadly speaking cancer is enough to support restricting carbohydrates from the diet.
How pervasive or powerful, impactful do you think that carbohydrate restriction, sort of starving cancer cell story is? Like, are you seeing people come to you that, for example, are fearful of eating fruit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Avoiding fruit in their diet, no grains in their diet, only choosing low glycemic index vegetables, so no starchy vegetables. And so they've cut out a lot of foods from their diet. It is very pervasive. Even if someone is not following a ketogenic diet, I find that many have heard enough about this sugar feeds cancer that they have made a lot of restrictions in their diet because of it.